Great. Now we have another question from Rashni that says, what is the role of innovative partners and scale-up partners? That one we were seeing.
Okay, so the innovation partner is, I don't know if you were not in the beginning, but I think that's a very, very important question. So basically, the innovation partner is the organization which has a program on, in this case, for this award, focus on prevention of domestic violence against women and girls. And they want to increase their reach by adapting their program to a different country. So basically, they have the program that they want to adapt. The scale-up partner is an organization based in a different country with whom they would like to work together to adapt their program because, for instance, they would like to take that program to the country where that scale-up partner is based. Or it could be the scale-up partner knows of a program that they really like to bring to their country, so they can approach an innovation partner and say, we would love to bring this organization, your program to our country. Would you like to apply with us? I think one thing which is really important to say is that the scale-up partner is not a purely implementer, right? So one of the things I mentioned before on the call is that it's a real equal relationship where both organizations bring different experience, different knowledge that will be equally important for the adaptation of the program, right? So it's not that the scale partner is just a pure implementer, the innovation partner say like, this is the program I want to adapt, please, that's the way you do it. That's not how it works. In the idea is that the scale partner will say, okay, this program, for the program to make sense in our community, we need to make those changes, or we need to talk to these people. So they bring knowledge that innovation partner won't necessarily have to be able to adapt the program in that different context, in that different country. And also the scale partner has probably a much in-depth understanding of that, the culture in that country, the important community people who need to be involved. And this will vary a lot depending on the program you want to adapt, who are the people you need to engage to be able to adapt that program. So I don't know if I gave the example, like when they were adapting the program from Brazil to Lebanon, of course, you need to translate from Portuguese to Arabic, but that was just one initial element of it. The idea was really to understand if the methodology had to be adapted, and it had to be adapted to be culturally sensitive to a different country where there's a different culture, a different religion. So again, the idea is that both organizations bring different but equally important knowledge to be able to adapt the program. So I hope this answered. And if you still have any questions, please let us know.
Yes, I'm going, there are some more, I'm going in order. Then it says, one question from Rashan says how we will act and manage the human rights dimension based in each country. And he says, what support the organization provide in designing project of IP and SP?
So the idea is that there is already a program designed. So the idea is that the innovation partner already has the program that they want to adapt. So it's not a program that was never done before. The idea is that the program was never done before in that specific country where they will adapt the program to. So it's the program. So if you consider the adaptation of the program, design of the program for a new country, then the partners will work together to do that. So to give an example, on the award 3 that is happening now, and the adaptation from program from India to South Africa, which is about creating safe cities for women, what the partners did is really understand if there were specific issues in South Africa or in a specific area in South Africa where they're adapting the program. If there are specific issues for safety for women in South Africa that were not considered in the original program, and there were. So then to be able to adapt the program to South Africa, they had to add new elements that made sense for that program to be impactful in the new country. And this is only can be done with the two partners working together. So then if you think that as a kind of a new design or design of a new version of the program, adapt to the new context, then it's the responsibility of both partners to do that.
Maybe I can add something related to the first part of the question that was saying about managing the human rights dimension in
Sorry.
each country. No, it's okay. Maybe I think it's related. We can say that that's a little bit the idea of the scale-up partner to be more. That is why we need the scale-up partner to be from the same country that you are implementing the program, because in this case you will know more the context and the knowledge. You have more knowledge about the human rights dimension in your own country. I understand. I know, Laura, if you want to
Yeah,
add anything on
yeah,
that.
definitely. That's why the idea is that the program is adapted in the country where the scale-up partner is based, exactly because of that, because they will have a much more in-depth understanding of the local context, the laws, the stakeholders, the politics. So that's why it's so important, and that's why they bring, as I said, so much important knowledge to the adaptation. They are not a pure implementer.
Right. Then it says Mamolemo Secate. He says, do you need a letter of agreement for two organizations applied in this stage?
No, so we don't need any document at this stage. We just need, well, we need to have an agreement in principle. If you go to the next stages, then we will ask at least for a letter of intent. So we have that in place, but not at this stage. I think the important thing is that, of course, if you have this agreement in principle, and then and you are selected for the next phase, and for whatever reason this partnership cannot go ahead, then you won't be able to continue in the process, right? Because then you won't be able to apply again with a different partner. So that's why it's so important to have the time and to have this partnership agreement in principle. But we don't need any documentation, any memorandum of understanding, anything kind of more formal, but we need the intent to work together.
Yeah, and also bear in mind that you will need to provide information about the IP and the SP. So you will need to have information about the SP in this stage. So that's important.
And I think the idea is that as I mentioned, is for the partners to apply together. So now, as I said, you have the Word document and you can share and discuss and apply, and then one of you can apply online. But the idea is that you will provide information about the two organizations and also explain why you want together, what program you want to adapt together. So these are all conversations you need to have before you apply, and then apply together to be sure it reflects the intention of both organizations. So it's a real partnership exercise from the beginning.
Related to this one, Rashan is asking, you said the partners should not be from the same countries. Can you elaborate? Maybe he asked before, but it's related to this one.
Yeah. And Alumba, I saw you want to ask a question. I will get back to you in a second as well. So, as I said, one of the ideas behind the Womanity Award model is to really foster partnerships across different countries in the Global South. So, and the idea is to strengthen networks across countries in the Global South. So that's the reason we only accept applications from organizations that are based in different countries. So if you have already applied and the innovation partner and the scale-up partner in your application are based in the same country, your application won't be considered. So now also I hope that with the extension of the deadline, you will be able to look for a partner in a different country, being the innovation partner or being the scale-up partner. So, and we are not going to consider different regions in the same country. Even if it's a big country, we know there are lots of really big countries, there are lots of cultural differences even within the country, but that's one kind of, it's one criteria for all countries. So they have to come from different countries based in the Global South and from different organizations. So maybe something I said in the beginning, but for the benefit of those who join a bit later, I received questions from an organization that has country offices in different countries in the Global South, and they asked if they could apply, one being the innovation partner, one being the scale-up partner, and the answer is no. We have to be from different organizations. You can be members of a same kind of membership organization, the same network, but you need to be different organizations.
Mm-hmm. Then we have another question from Jason about how many stages of the selection criteria are there?
So, I mean, again, I will send the slide deck with the link to the website, and you can go to the selection process page, which explains step by step, but very in a summarized way. Now is the call for proposals. So you receive the proposals. We're going to do a first shortlisting. We invite a number of organizations to apply, which means they will receive a more detailed application form. Are they going to explain the program they want to adapt with more details? Then there's going to be a second shortlisting where we're going to choose the 3 finalists, the 3 pairs of finalists. The 3 pairs of finalists will then go through a 3-month mentoring phase where they will work together with our support to refine the adaptation plan. And that at that stage, there are going to be due diligence as well. And like we're going to talk to some references. And the idea here is that that plan will have then the measurement and evaluation framework, the budget, the timeline, and this is all decided by the organization. So the organizations will decide which program they want to adapt, how they want to adapt, what activities they want to have for the adaptation, what's going to be the timeline for the adaptation, what's going to be the budget. We can send templates, but it's how you want to share the budget between you. So you don't need to share 50-50 necessarily. You share the budget in the way makes more sense, depending on the program you want to adapt. And it can even change throughout the 3 years, depending on the needs of the partners throughout the 3 years. So there is a framework because we're talking about an adaptation, but within this framework, there is flexibility on how partners want to use the funds. So Gabi, just before you go to the next one, I think Alumba, you raise your hand. Would you like to ask something? You can unmute yourself.
Yes, thank you very much. Are you able to get me?
Yes, can hear you.
Yes, okay. My name is Halumba from Ndola, Zambia. And my question is really, I heard you mention about maybe the scaling up partner who has already partnered with an IP and is also wants to also partner with another organization, maybe from a scaling up partner also acts as an IP partner. Is that allowed?
Yes, so if you have one proposal where you are the scale-up partner, but you want to submit another one
Yes.
where you're going to be the innovation partner, you can as well. But again, I know I'm repeating myself, but I think it's important to stress that independently if you are the innovation partner, the scale-up partner, your other partner needs to be based in a different country. So if you're a scale-up partner, you need to look for innovation partner in another country. If you are the innovation partner, you need to look for a scale-up partner based in a different country. Is that clear, Halumba?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay. And then I also have Sahira with her raised hand. So if you want to ask a question.
Thank you, Laura. Actually, I have been doing work on this, like looking for the partners for last few days, and I've been in contact with few of the people from different countries.
Hi, Zahira, your line is cutting a little bit.
I belong to Pakistan, from like Lanka.
Zahira, your line is not very stable. Would you mind maybe putting a question on chat? so we don't miss anything? Because the
Okay.
line is really cutting and we can't really understand you.
That
Would you mind putting your question on the chat so we can really ensure that we get everything? Because the line is really cutting. It's difficult to understand you.
hello.
Hi. Zahira, would you mind putting
Okay, sure. I'll write it there.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. In the meanwhile, we can continue with our questions, and then when afterwards, then we can start with that. The other question was about from Lina. She's saying how much in funding you can fund, or the maximum or minimum, please.
Okay, so it's one funding that's fixed, right? So it's every award is the same funding. So the total we give for the adaptation is 240,000 Swiss francs, which is equivalent of $240,000 over 3 years to be shared with the two organizations. So when you submit the budget is for that amount. Besides that, we're going to give $30,000 to each organization for the institutional development element of the program, and another 10,000 for self-care for each organization. But again, all this information is on the website. So I really strongly recommend you to go to the website and read all the different sections, because there's a lot of detailed information there. And after you go to the website, if there's still things that are very specific to your program that you couldn't find the answer, please by all means send us an email on womanity.award@womanity.org, and we can put on the chat the email as well. But I do really recommend you to go to the website, because we have frequent asked questions, the selection process explained step by step, all the different supports from Womanity explained in detail, all the funding explained in detail, all the eligibility criteria explained in detail. You have, if you go to the eligibility criteria and you click on the Global South, there's going to be a website like listing all the programs from the Global South that are eligible. So there's a lot of information available there. But again, if there's anything else that you couldn't find there, please, by all means, you can write an email to us as well. And also if we don't answer in this call.
Right. And related to this, related to the funds, Jovia Mujindo asked, shall the funds be deposited on accounts of all organizations?
So the idea is that the funds will be transferred to the bank accounts of the innovation partner and the scale-up partner, depending on how you decide to split the budget. So when the organizations prepare the budget, which is really at the end of this process, so you don't need to be worried about it now. Of course, you need to be thinking that the program, you will have that budget, so you need to think about a program that can be adapted with that budget over 3 years. So that's, I think, of course, it's really important to have a clarity, but you don't need to prepare budget at the moment. But once you have, if you go to the final stage, and then you will prepare a budget to be shared with the selection panel. And then by then, and we can have conversations about it. So during the mentoring phase, I'll be working with, I'm not part of the judgment panel. So I work to support the development of the last phase of the adaptation plan. And then I can give feedback, I can send templates. So this is all something that will be happening further down the line. So I think for the moment, I think the important thing is to be sure that you are selecting a partner with whom you want to work, a program that has evidence on prevention of domestic violence against women and girls. Because the other thing is, if you're not working on domestic violence, the application won't be eligible. So I think that's also very important that you are submitting a proposal that is working on prevention of domestic violence. So I think for me, the most important thing at the moment is really to find the right program, the right partner, how the adaptation, how do you think the adaptation would work? So then you can put a strong proposal explaining why you want to adopt that program in that geography, what each partner is going to be bringing to the partnership. So I think these are the most critical elements for this stage of the selection process.
Another one regarding funds from Shovia says, should salaries of project staff be included in the budget?
Yes. So the time allocated by the staff in the organization to be working on adaptation can be added to the budget. So
Right.
just a housekeeping question. Can I ask you all, if you're not speaking, to put yourself on mute so we don't have any background noise, please?
Yes. I will continue. Another one related to the eligibility criteria from Rana Malik is saying, we are Department of Gender Studies at the university. Are we eligible as SP or IP?
So again, you need to have you need to be able to prove experience in adapting a program. So if you are only doing research, probably not. But if you have experience, so if you are an IP and you have a program that has shown evidence, they have evidence on impact on prevention of domestic violence, then you can apply. Or if you are an SP that have everything that is needed to be able to adapt the program. So you need to have the contacts with the community. And again, it depends a lot on what type of program you want to adapt. So that's the partnership and the partners that will be applying together. They need to be the right partners to adapt that specific program, right? So the innovation partner needs to think, okay, what do I need to adapt that program? And then you need to look for a scale-up partner who will be able to help you to adapt the program, right? Or if you are a scale-up partner, you say, okay, I would love to bring that specific program. I have the capability to adapt that specific program. So then you reach to the innovation partner and say, I would love to bring your program to my country. So being an university, it's not a problem per se, it's not an issue, but you need to be able to meet the eligibility criteria and show your experience, right? So this is not a research grant. So we're not going to be funding research. We're going to fund a program, adaptation and implementation.
Then we have another one from Sal Alerjani, from program manager from MF Yemen. My question is there is any need for coordinate with any international NGO due to a status in Yemen? Is saying, and then says that the organization is already coordinating partners with ADO, that is the partner, with many donors in UN agency, and they can do this coordination. But I wasn't very sure. I know if it's still there, Sal.
Yes, if you could maybe unmute yourself and explain a little bit more. I'm not sure if I understood exactly.
Yes, me too.
So
but if it is a requisite to be an international NGO, I think if that was the question, the answer will be no, that it's not necessary to be international, but I'm not sure that I understood properly the question.
Do you want to unmute yourself and just tell us if we answered your question?
Yes, that was my question. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Perfect. Then we have another one about if countries from sub-Saharan Africa are eligible.
Yes. So what I would say is, and I will put out on the global the presentation that I will share with everyone, the link to the eligibility.
Sounds good.
And there is a list. You can go online and see the list of all countries based in the global south. So any country based in the global south is eligible. And just have a look at the list if you have any questions.
Okay. Then we have another one from Rashan. Regarding project proposal, is there separate proposals for IP or SP or same proposal?
As I said before, the idea of the award is to support a program that will be done in partnership. So it's one proposal for one program that will be adapted in partnership between innovation partner and scale-up partner. So we only will accept proposals where the two partners will work together on the adaptation of the program. So it's only one proposal.
Okay. Then we have Serajul Islam that he raised his hand. Maybe you want to ask?
Yeah, thank you for nice presentation and the clear answer. My name is Sirajul Islam, Executive Director for Rural Advancement in Bangladesh. We already submitted our application, but now I hear that the date is extended. So do we need to submit again it?
No. If you are happy with the proposal, now getting a bit more understanding, if you think there's anything you'd like to change in your proposal to make it stronger, please submit again. But if you don't have to, only if you feel that, because of course, everybody has to have the same advantage. So even if you have already applied, but you want to make changes, you want to improve the application based on this new information, then what we can do, send us an email, we can disregard the previous application, we can take it out of the system, and then we get the new application when you submit. So just let us know, but you don't have to, okay?
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Then Rajni is asking, can Sri Lanka be a country scale-up partner?
Yes. So as I said before, any country based in the Global South can be either the innovation partner or the scale-up partner. And we will send, Agostino, if you could put again the link to the website on the chat, and I will share on the presentation. Please go to the website, have a look on the eligibility criteria section. There's going to be a link to the Global South, the countries in the Global South. You can see the list and see if your country is based in the Global South, and then you will be eligible. So, so that's my answer to the countries from the Global South.
Okay. Then we have a question from Shovia Muhindo that is asking, can Women Enterprise, an organization from Uganda, apply?
Yes. I mean, you need to check all the eligibility criteria, as I said before, but in principle, a women's enterprise from, sorry, I missed the country, from Uganda.
Uganda.
Yes.
Yes. I'm not sure if she was asking about the it being an enterprise and not an NGO, but
yeah, so that's a good point. So it has to be like a social enterprise. So we wouldn't be funding organizations which are for profit. But if you are non-for-profit, yes, being a registered organization, but non-for-profit, you should be eligible.
Then we have Sahira question that she's saying, my intended partner is an organization at Nepal. I'm from Pakistan. They are an NGO working for violence against women and girls for the last 28 years. They have worked in the field with many innovative interventions, but do not have post-test data. Will it be okay that we adapt their most successful plan to apply in our context? They have reports as evidence of their work, and also many things changed in terms of policy making, because their efforts in violence against women and girls domain, and belong to an university, has lots of basic research experience. So we be the right SP in this regard?
So it's very difficult for me to say who is the right IP and SP for the different organizations. So I really can't respond that specifically. So what I can say is there is, I mean, if you have narrative evidence of the impact, so we will be asking you to share evidence on the proposal. And we'll be looking at the evidence, and we know that different organizations may have different experience with measurement and evaluation. So we'll be open to see the different documents that organizations may have to show the evidence of the work. But it's very difficult for Womanity and for myself personally to say if the organization is a good partner or not. That's the only people who can make this decision are you. Like, you are applying, you know your needs, you know the organizations that you represent, with which organizations you'd like to work. So, and again, we have a very detailed eligibility criteria. So if when you're applying, there is something very specific from that you want to send an email asking, I'm more than happy to answer, but I'll never be able to answer if the organization is right or wrong for your proposal. I can't do that because I don't know enough about your program. I don't know enough about your context to be able to say that. And it's very risky even for me to say that and give you the wrong information. So that's really part of the process, is to finding the right partner to work with our support for 3 years. I know it's probably a bit frustrating, but it's very difficult because you are the ones who are the experts in your programs, in your organizations, in your countries. And for me, it's impossible to be able to know in details and to be able to say, yes, this organization is right, this organization is wrong. I really don't have enough knowledge of your programs or countries, organizations, to be able to give you any answer related to that.
Okay. Then we have about the requirements, and from sending the proposal, we have two quite similar. One is from Loveness Chama, that's saying what are the requirements when sending the proposal form, and the other one from Jason is saying who should submit the final proposal, IP or SP.
So it doesn't matter. So going to the last question first, it doesn't matter who submits the proposal. If both organization information is there, if both organizations are happy with the proposal, if they feel that their information is correctly captured, it doesn't really matter who submit. And again, it's just, the application is just an online form. All the fields are mandatory. So you can't submit if there's fields missing. And again, the application needs to be done in English and with information from both partners. So Loveness, I don't know if there's anything else. I think the requirements are just to have the correct information and to be in English and to submit it online. So there's nothing more than that. And it shouldn't be the action of applying itself online. It shouldn't be a very lengthy one. It's not a super long proposal. I think the time demanded is really to discuss the program, think about the partnership, etc. That's why we gave, it was almost 3 months application period, and now we extended for another month because we do understand that it takes time, and also with COVID impacting everybody's lives, it's putting extra pressure. So we wanted to be sure that people had enough time to work on these partnerships, to think about the programs before they're applying. But the application itself should be very straightforward once you have had all these conversations. I'm just aware of the time. We're 5 minutes past, so maybe let's do another 5 minutes. And if you don't cover all the questions, please do send any remaining question to our email. And Agus, if you could put the email again on the chat. So if we can't cover your, can't answer your question during the call because the time is up, then please do send it via email and we will get back to you.
Okay. Yes, there were a lot of comments about putting them in contact between each other that we are like stepping, but some of them are saying that they have a good program, they are looking for an AP or SP, so check maybe this chat, and if I don't know, maybe we can copy this kind of comments and share with you in the email with the presentation. We are going to share the presentation, so maybe we can put this kind of comments and contacts that you have shared. There's no problem with that, but we are not going to have a role on connecting between each other, as Laura said before. So even if we send the contacts, they are like the contacts that were shared in this conversation, but we can do anything else from about that. Another one that is a little bit more quite open was from Rajan, asking about some good practices that you have learned from past awards.
So, gosh, very big question. I'll think about some of the things that has been shown when a partnership works. So I think one of the things, again, as I said in the beginning, and for those who were not in the call during the first parts of the presentation, is the innovation partner and the scale-up partner. They bring different knowledge, different experience to the partnership. So the scale-up partner is not a pure implementer. So in all the partnerships we have supported so far, both of them brought knowledge, brought relationships and experience that was very important for the program to be adapted, meaning that the innovation partner wouldn't be able to adapt without the scale-up partner, and the scale-up partner wouldn't be able to adapt without the innovation partner. So if you have complementary skills, for instance, and of course, understanding of the local context, relationship with the local stakeholders from the scale-up partner, from the innovation partner, an innovation has experience in adapting programs. So it would be very difficult for an innovation partner to work in partnership with the scale-up partner to be able to adapt a program in 3 years if you haven't done any adaptation before. So that's why this is part of the eligibility criteria. You need to show that you have some experience in adapting. But because as you can imagine, creating a new partnership, building the relationship, building trust takes time. So if on top of all of that, they are adapting something for the first time, it's going to be very challenging to do that in 3 years. So that's why the innovation partner needs to have some experience in adaptation, even if it's not specifically on the program that you are applying for this proposal, but you can show that you have experience in adapting programs before. So I think for me, that would be a couple of really important characteristics of the 3 previous awards and how the partnerships have been, how the partners have been working together. So there's 1 minute left. So I think just before we close, I want to say thank you so much again for joining, for making the time. For those who join maybe a bit later, just to explain that the deadline for the applications has been extended. So this is going to be now 28th of February. We're going to share this presentation after the call with all the ones who are part of it, but also the ones who wanted but couldn't join. So everybody can benefit. But I know I'm repeating myself, but I cannot stress enough. Please go to the website, have a careful read on the different sections, because a lot of what I've shared now, if not almost everything, almost everything is explained in the website. And if you don't find an answer to something that's very critical for you, then please send us an email with the question and we will answer via email. So thank you so much. Thanks so much for interest in the award and good luck with your applications. And I hope to be in touch soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good
Thank
luck.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you from Bangladesh.
Thank you. Thanks so much for joining.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you from Nigeria. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, it's so amazing.
Thank you so much, from Yemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you from Liberia.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you from Bangladesh. Shiraz
Thank
bhai.
you.
Shiraz bhai. How are you?
Fine.
London gelen kobe? London kobe gelen?
So I'm going to end the meeting now because I need to jump on the meeting. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.